you go, buddy. Hello, everyone. This is John the Yeti, and you're joining me at the park. What park? Well, the park next to my parents' place. And this is a public park, but it has a bunch of dead trees in it and trees that are still dying. As you can see, if you watch the last couple minutes and this here, it's kind of a problem. It's collecting up around the park, and this last one, the city cut it up because it was across the road, but that's all they did with it. They left it there. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is just cleaning up this wood pile you see here. Later on, I'll be getting the chainsaw out because those are some big limbs, and it's going to take some work to take care of those. So I hope you'll join me for this adventure and enjoy the nice view afterwards when we get it all cleaned up. Thank you for sticking around. So one of the things you might be wondering as you watch this video is why I'm in and out of so many different pairs of clothes. Well, that's because I did this in about 3 separate days. There was this day where you're seeing me pick up the smaller stuff, which was on a weekday. And I still work a full-time job, so I didn't have much time to work that day. But when you see me cutting up the bigger stuff with the chainsaw, I did that on the weekend. That allowed me to have enough time to actually do it because I was using a battery powered chainsaw and I did not realize that it does not last very long. Like maybe 6 to 7 minutes, but you can do a surprising amount in that little amount of time with an electric chainsaw. So you'll see it works out alright. And unfortunately, there's not going to be any sound for this part because the wind was blasting so hard that there's just nothing I could do about it. And I don't have any kind of wind canceling device for my camera. It's an older camera. I don't even know where the mic is at on it, so yeah, I'm just gonna have to cut out the audio for this little bit. If you want to, you can skip to like the 6.5 minute mark where I go over what I've done with all this stuff. Alright guys, that was a nice 30-40 minute work there. Collected a bit of stuff, dragged it back into the yard. I will be breaking this down later on. It's going to be a lot of kindling and stuff for later when we make fires. Now I usually make a fire every weekend to every other weekend, and a lot of the time that's so that we can melt down aluminum cans. I collect aluminum cans from the house. I got a friend that gives me aluminum cans, and I just generally try to collect any aluminum that I can, because I just enjoy melting it down. It's a nice fun little process. There's something addicting about having blocks of aluminum that I can use for fun stuff later on. And you can see that's where what was my fire pit, it kind of needs to be redone. But now we're on to the fun stuff, using the electric chainsaw. And if you can't tell, this is my first time. And you got Sirius there, my dog, pushing around the camera. You goofy boy. Oh, there he is.
Hey, that's pretty slick.
What are you doing, bud?
Huh? He wants to be in your movie.
Huh? You interested in my camera, buddy?
Well, at least you didn't try and pee on it.
You stay away from the chainsaw. There it is. You stay away from the chainsaw. No, go get that.
He just wanted to make sure you're okay.
Alright guys, so my camera lost power about halfway through cutting up that stuff, but after I realized, I went and got charged and then came back out here to show you the end of the day. I got most of it cut up, but this one log here is just way too big, and my battery is dead for the second time. Or is that the third time now? I don't remember. But it took a lot, and it's going to take a bit more. Alright guys, we're gonna have to cut up these other two and the rest of it the next day because it's getting late. The battery's still charging, and that's about all I got. And I was just barely able to cut through that last log with that battery. Well, I guess there's one more log I can get off of this tree, but then we get down to a Y, a branch, and a limb, and it's pretty big one. Yeah, look at that. Like, I tried to cut it in half and it's still not enough. So I didn't manage to finish cutting up that piece with the chainsaw, but we were like 95% of the way through, so I just grabbed the handsaw and finished it off, and threw it in with the rest of the stuff. Alright then, that is a lot of firewood. That is a lot more firewood than I had expected. And all of this stuff is relatively fresh. So I'm going to have to put it on the skid for a year. And that pile next to it of the bigger stuff has been dead for like a year or two already. So that's going to be more of the stuff that we start using this year. But as you can see, there's a lot of leaves and sawdust left over from cutting up all that firewood. But it's finally clear. Beyond that, we gotta get this cleaned up, and we gotta get into a stack of firewood so it can dry out and we can use it in a coming year or two. Now I got a nice base set up, you know, the bigger stuff on the bottom, but this limb that broke off was not very nice to work with in terms of trying to stack this stuff up. And the pallet wasn't big enough either, so we had to just stack a lot of the stuff up vertically off to the side of it. But alright guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did I do a good job cleaning up that little section of the park? And don't worry, I'm going to be getting to the rest of it at a later date, because, wow, there's a lot of stuff that can be cleaned up. This park could look a lot better. It's going to take some time. So, I'll catch you next time.